everyone, this is Charles with QScreens.com here, bringing you a new product release. This is our very popular 12-inch replacement touchscreen for the 2021 and newer GM vehicles. Today we're working on a 2021 Yukon Denali that has the rear seat entertainment package, which is of course the 12.6-inch rear seat headrest monitors that are very prone to cracking, as you can see here. So what happens is if the seat's folded over, if there's stuff in the back, if a kid jumps in and taps that glass, it's going to crack very easily. And these parts are currently on national back order from the dealer, and they're also very expensive. So what we've got here today is an option where you can reuse over half of the internal display unit and replace just the touchscreen glass at a much lower cost. In addition, our screen has some other upgrades that we'll point out here in a few moments, but this is going to be the do-it-yourself video that shows you step-by-step how to install this replacement touchscreen to fix your 12.6-inch rear entertainment systems. And again, this will work for the 2021 and newer Yukon, Suburban, Tahoe, and Escalade. They all use the same LCD panel here, so you can feel free to check out at qscreens.com. You can enter your year, make, and model. It'll show you the right screen. So let's take a look at the new replacement that we've got here. After several months of development, it's going to have a thicker, more improved tempered glass. It's going to be a matte anti-glare finish, so it's easier to see in the back compared to the high gloss mirrored finish that the factory screens have. In addition, we've got the premium threaded fittings and pre-applied tape, so it's going to be a quick, easy installation that we'll show you right here. So for tools, just a couple screwdrivers, a socket wrench, the replacement screen, the GM-12 replacement screen, and a heating element or a heat gun. And that's going to be used to soften the glue on the tape that the factory screen has. And also, this is the do-it-yourself video, but if you don't feel comfortable with it or you want to mail it in for repair, you can do that. Just watch how to remove your display and check out on our website with the mail-in service. For just $100 more, we'll install this for you and ship it right back to you for installation. No dealer visits. All right, so first off, we want to raise the headrest up all the way. So there's a button on the side. Just press that button, lift your headrest up all the way, tilt the display down as far as you can. This allows you to gain access to this little plastic cover that will pop off. You just pull it back and the tabs will disengage, allowing you access the 4 5/16 nuts that hold the display unit to the headrest bracket. So here you can come in from the side and remove these 4 nuts. There's a power tool in the video, but you can use a standard socket. Try not to drop these or lose them. These nuts will be reused during reinstallation, so you want to keep those in a safe place where they're not lost or kicked over. Once the nuts are almost completely loosened up, you can go to the back and finally remove them by hand so they don't fall. Now, with the display free of the bracket, we can move on to the next step, which is to remove the strain relief plastic pieces that are fitting in this metal piece here. So there's one on each side, and it really supports the cable that plugs into your display unit. And inside the plastic opening, there's 2 little ratcheting plastic arms that sort of go into the metal gap there, and all you have to do is squeeze those together, and the ratcheting tab will release, and you can lift it up and out of the display unit. So use pliers, needle nose pliers, tweezers, anything like that. Just squeeze those 2 tabs together, and you'll feel the ratcheting arms let go, and then you can pull that piece away. You can also use a nylon tool to kind of pry it away while you're lifting up on it, and it will release pretty easily. There it goes, just pops loose just like that. And now the last part here is we have to disconnect the cable harnesses on both sides. So they're both almost identical. There's a white locking tab that you pop away from the circuit board. Just click it down and it'll release, sort of unlocked, and then squeeze the tab and pull it away from the display just like this. So unlock just like that. Squeeze the tab, the locking tab down. And then it'll come away just like that. And that's it, it's free. So now you can take the display unit inside and we'll show you how to open it up and install the new LCD touchscreen assembly. The first step is to use a screwdriver and remove the 2 gold Phillips head screws that secure the back housing onto the front piece. There are little snap tabs all around the back housing piece that keeps it in place. You can use a plastic or nylon pry tool or anything really to separate these halves. You want to just insert it in this gap and go around it, and the tabs will release as you slide it through. You want to be aware that if you're not holding it up, it has a tendency to re-snap into place. So you'll want to find a method to go around like this and pull the housing away from the front half so it doesn't keep re-clicking over and over again. Alright, with most of those plastic tabs disengaged, you can remove the back housing. It'll just pop loose and expose the electronic equipment. The first part we want to do here is remove the 4 silver Phillips screws that are holding your LCD panel to the housing. And then keep those separate, we are going to reuse them. Next up, all of the black small Phillips screws around the perimeter. There's a lot of them and they are the smaller size. So you can use a hand tool here or a power tool if you have one small enough and just remove all of these black screws. These will also be reused. Okay, with all those black Phillips screws removed, the metal plate is free, and we're going to move to the next step, which is to disconnect the main ribbon cable that's connected to this motherboard here. So if you see it kind of pivots, there's like a locking mechanism, so you want to pivot it upwards. So lift it up, lift that little plastic tab up and pivot it vertical, and then that will release the ribbon cable from its connector. It's kind of tucked under 2 little ears or tabs that keep it secured nice and straight. So you'll see it up close here, but you'll want to lift it up and out to disconnect from the cable. And then carefully route that cable through the metal plate like you see here. Try not to tear it. We'll need to reuse this cable. And that will free up the metal plate, except at the bottom, there's a sensor that some units have and some don't. So if you have this little green, long, thin circuit board at the bottom that has a cable, just go ahead and remove those screws and lift it up and leave it just like that. Then we can remove the metal plate completely, exposing the LCD assembly. And do take note of that ribbon cable. We don't want to tear it. So now the LCD is free. It's only connected to the plastic trim bezel that's around the outside. So to remove that, we're going to heat up the face of the glass. If you've got a heat plate, you'll want to go to about 180 degrees for 6 to 7 minutes to soften that tape, and then it'll peel away just like you see here. If you don't have a heat plate, use a heat gun around the perimeter and get the glass to the point where it's a little bit too hot to touch for more than a few seconds. That's usually close to 170 or 180 degrees. And then go through with your nylon tool and separate the plastic trim from the LCD glass. Try not to break either parts. Take your time. If it's not separating quickly, use more heat. Definitely this is a job where you want to have patience and take your time instead of rushing it. If you rush it, you'll crack the glass and cause a hazard and a mess. And if you go too fast on the plastic piece, you'll crack that, which you don't want to do, as we are reusing the plastic bezel trim. So as you can see in this video, this is the general process. Just keep slicing through it, apply more heat, slice through it. Don't use too much heat to where it distorts the plastic, but just enough to soften that tape that is being held in place. Alright, and then finally the plastic trim piece will be free of the LCD and we can transfer that over. First off, we'll want to reuse this ribbon cable, so disconnect it from your old LCD cracked panel. It works just like the other one. This part says LCD because it connects to the LCD. It's a flip locking tab, so you unlock it just like this, pry up, it unlocks, then lift up and out. You lift it up to clear those two little ears away from the connector. And then take your new LCD panel, remove the protective films and the yellow tape that may be on your unit to expose the ribbon cable, and then insert that gold ribbon cable that we removed in the last step into this new panel. So tuck it in, make sure it goes all the way in, and get the ears latched into place. There's two little white stripes on the ribbon cable, and those need to be aligned so that they're kind of in the middle of the white stripe on the circuit board. That's how you know if you've got it in all the way. You can see it right there in the middle. The white stripe fits between the two lines, and it's locked into place, perfectly straight, good to go. Once that's in, hold it down and then lock it into place, and then that's that step. If you had any extra tape that was stuck to the plastic trim bezel, just go ahead and remove that. You want a nice clean surface, otherwise it might stick up or not sit evenly. So with your notch at the bottom towards the circuit board, like you see in this image, you can kind of position that plastic bezel and then remove the plastic backing strips, the plastic tape backing strips. They just peel right off and expose the sticky surface of the tape on the new LCD panel. And then now you can stick that over the top, get it centered up as best as you can. Once it's in place, it'll kind of drop around the edge, and then just push down to get the tape to bond to the new plastic, to the new LCD panel. From there, we'll take the metal plate and route the gold ribbon cable through the hole there that it'll guide it towards the connector. This side, of course, is labeled main because it's the main power board. And then drop the metal plate over the threaded holes, the threaded openings. It'll fall right into place really nicely. Reposition the infrared sensor if you have one. Now we'll do the installation, so make sure the lock is unlocked in the up position, vertical. Just like before, insert the ribbon cable so the lines are lined up, and then so the ears go into the place, and then lock it down nice and secure. From here, it's the step of taking all the black plastic screws and reinstalling them. Very important not to over tighten these screws. You're going into soft plastic, it can strip out easily, so just getting it until it's tight and then stop. No need to apply too much torque to this. Okay, with all the black screws installed, we'll move to the silver screws to secure the LCD. Again, no need to over tighten these, just get it until the screw stops, and that is all the torque that it needs on those screws. So there's 4, reinstall all of them. All Alright, now you'll take the back housing and clip it back over the latches just like before. It'll snap right into place. If you do have a protective film, you can remove that on the front. Some units have it, some don't. There'll be a little tab where you can peel off of the protective film if that's the case. Put the 2 gold screws back in. Again, don't over tighten, no need to. And then we'll go back to the car. First step is, of course, insert those 2 connector harnesses. They clip into place, and then be sure to re-lock them with the white locking tab, and push the strain relief back into the metal housing. Repeat on both sides. Clip in, lock it in, and then press the strain relief. And then you can position the 4 threaded studs through the bracket on the headrest. Take your nuts and then relock those down. All right, all 4 nuts are nice and tight there. We can put the cover back on. There's 2 little tabs that could get bent when you pull them out, but make sure they're straight and can fit into the little slots on the very top. You push those up and then push the bottom in and it'll clip right in place, and then you are done, all set. No dealer visits or no hassles or no appointments or anything. Simple, quick fix. You can order these parts at qscreens.com. You'll save a lot of money for a very small amount of work and no dealer headaches. qscreens.com. Choose the mail-in service or the do-it-yourself option. Thanks for watching.